So here we have Dieci's T60 Agripivot, part of a 6 model family from the Italian firm. Dieci, although they've been making telehandlers for a very, very long time, they've only really recently just gotten into pivot steer telehandlers, only about 2 years ago. And at that time as well, when the T60 first came out, we tried it out then, but now we want to find out what it's like up against its other 3 main rivals. Right, so here we have the Dieci then, T60 Agripivot. As the name suggests, it is a pivot steer telehandler, as are all 4 of them. So cab-wise on the Dieci, certainly one of the spacious out of the 4 models tested. Very light, very airy. It's definitely got one of the best roof windows, which gives pretty decent views upwards, especially when you've got the boom fully raised, fully reached. Certainly better than the JCB anyway, which has pretty much just only got a token roof window. Very much of an afterthought. As for the rest of the cab, yeah, it's pretty well laid out. All controls fall pretty neatly to hand. Unlike the 2 red German machines, the controls are fixed to the right hand console, so they don't move with the seat. It's not too much of an issue, but the other way is quite a nice touch. In terms of control logic and the configuration of the joystick, I'd say this is almost up there with the Vitamin in terms of the fact that you can do multiple actions all at once and really make use of all your fingers. The only thing that could improve it slightly is the fact that it uses a proportional roller switch for direction changes, and to get neutral you've got to actually physically hit an N like that, whereas on the Vitamin it's actually a 3-position switch, so you physically feel straight away what position and what direction it's going to be headed in. But apart from that, it's not too bad. In terms of machine performance, yeah, it's fairly up there, but it just doesn't quite deliver it in the smooth way the other 3 machines do, and especially compared to the Vitamin and Schaefer, which are really made for this job. But maybe that's just because Dieci is new to this particular market, and fair's fair, what they've come up with ain't a bad product. Just the major gripes we have with it is the fact it just needs finishing off nicely. So like that old saying goes, it'll be nice when it's finished. One of our biggest gripes with this particular machine is to do with the transmission. Now, all of the 4 machines use a 2-stage hydrostatic transmission, and 3 of them, not this one, you can change that range or stage on the go just by the flick of a switch. Does it quite seamlessly. However, on this machine, for some reason, you have to stop and then change range. And that means holding the brakes on to actually enable you to change range. Which means for doing jobs like this, where ideally for the more precise bits, when you're in the building, where you want a slower speed, and then the bit where you're razzing across the yard, you're not inclined to keep shifting between the ranges. You just end up sticking it in high range, which is what I'm doing now. But then you lose a certain amount of control, which is highlighted by all the muck flying over the yard. So what do we like about the Dieci then? Well, it's got one of the most generous cabs out of the 4 machines tested. There's plenty of space to get in, stretch out, get comfy. Control, layout and logic is definitely one of the most intuitive out of the 4 machines as well. Really easy to grasp, jump on, understand, get going. One of the things we really like about the Dieci is the very generous roof window which it has. Provides excellent visibility for when you're reaching up high with the boom. Way better than the JCB, which is a tiny little roof window which basically just seems like an afterthought. Now, one of the main things we don't like about the Dieci is its fit and finish. It's a little bit rough around the edges and a little bit plasticky, as you can see. All this edge work, it's really sharp, and when you lift the bonnet it really shows, because you've got to get your fingers around a sharp edge there. There's no gas struts or anything, it's just a big floppy fiberglass mess.